The first time I saw her, she was sitting under the old oak tree near the park bench, sketching something on her notepad as the sunlight slipped through the branches and danced on her face. She was beautiful, quietly, painfully beautiful, in a way that made you stop breathing for a second. Her long hair was tucked behind one ear, and though her smile was soft, there was something in her eyes, something broken yet brave. I didn't know then that the girl who'd changed my life forever couldn't even stand on her own 2 feet. Before we go deeper, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and that love can bloom in the most unexpected ways, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Touch of Kindness. Your support helps us bring more real, heartfelt stories to life. Her name was Irene Vale, and I met her because of a prank. My college friends had dared me to join a dating app as a joke, setting up a fake profile with flattering lies about being an upcoming photographer who captured the souls of people, not just faces. I was never that kind of guy. I was just Rowan, a part-time barista trying to make sense of life after losing my dad. I didn't have fancy words or charm, just an honest heart, but my friends thought it'd be funny to match me with random girls. When Irene's profile appeared, I was drawn in instantly. She had this simple photo of herself sitting beside a pond, her sketchbook open on her lap, her caption reading, "Still learning to find beauty in the broken." They swiped right for me. We matched. And for days we talked about art, loss, loneliness, and the small joys most people ignore. Her messages were soft but deep. She never overshared, yet somehow every sentence made me feel like she was handing me a piece of her heart. I forgot it was supposed to be a joke. I forgot the dare. I wanted to meet her. When she agreed to see me at the park one sunny afternoon, I was nervous, rehearsing what to say, but when I got there and saw her sitting under that tree, her wheelchair half hidden by the grass, my heart stopped. My friends hadn't mentioned this. My throat tightened. I froze. I'd been tricked, yes, but not by her. I'd been tricked by the world's cruelty and my own shallow expectations. She looked up, her smile hesitant, maybe sensing the hesitation in my steps. "You must be Rowan," she said, her voice trembling slightly. I nodded, trying not to stare at the metallic frame beside her. The air between us was heavy, filled with things neither of us knew how to say. But I sat down anyway, and that small act, sitting down beside her instead of walking away, became the start of something I'd never expected. At first I didn't know what to talk about, but Irene made it easy. She told me about how she'd been in an accident 2 years ago that left her partially paralyzed from the waist down. "I can still feel," she said softly, "but not enough to move the way I used to." Her words didn't sound like an apology, they sounded like truth carved in pain. I listened, unsure how to respond, but when she showed me her sketches, portraits of children, old people, broken things turned beautiful, I realized she didn't want pity. She wanted someone to see her, really see her, beyond what the world saw. We started meeting more often. Some days she'd be sitting in the park, sketching. Other days I'd push her wheelchair along the path as she told me about the colors of morning she could no longer chase on foot. Her laughter became the sound I looked forward to every day. She had this way of making silence comfortable. One afternoon she said, "You don't have to stay, Rowan. If it's pity, I'll understand." That sentence shattered me. I remember looking at her, eyes burning. "I'm not here because I feel sorry for you, Irene. I'm here because I can't imagine being anywhere else." She smiled, but I saw tears glisten at the corners of her eyes. That day, I realized something profound. Sometimes love isn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet persistence, showing up again and again, even when you don't know what tomorrow holds. But not everyone saw it that way. When my friends found out, they laughed. "You're serious? You're dating her, the wheelchair girl?" Their words hit like punches. They mocked me, saying I'd fallen for the joke I was supposed to play. I walked out on them. I didn't need that kind of cruelty in my life anymore. Over time, being with Irene changed me. She showed me patience I didn't know I had, hope I thought I'd lost, and courage that humbled me. But she also carried storms I couldn't always see. Some nights I'd get messages from her saying she felt like a burden, that she didn't want to trap me in her limited world. I'd rush to her place, find her sitting by the window, her eyes distant. She once whispered, "Rowan, I used to dance. That was my life. Now I can't even walk to the kitchen without help. Don't you see how unfair it is for you?" I held her hand, feeling the trembling inside it. "Maybe it's unfair," I said, "but it's beautiful too, because I get to walk beside you, even if the world says you can't walk at all." One evening during a warm golden sunset, Irene took me to a spot overlooking the river. She asked me to close my eyes, and when I opened them, she handed me a sketch. It was me pushing her wheelchair, both of us laughing, the sunlight behind us drawn like gold dust. At the bottom she'd written, "Thank you for standing by me when I couldn't stand." That was the day I realized I loved her, not because I pitied her, but because she was the strongest person I'd ever known. She had rebuilt herself from ashes with nothing but art and courage. I told her that day, my voice trembling, "I don't want to just be someone in your drawings, Irene. I want to be in your life." She looked at me for a long time, her lips trembling into a smile. "Then promise me one thing," she said softly. "Promise you'll never let pity be the reason you stay." I promised. For months, everything felt right. We spent weekends painting by the riverside, sipping coffee, watching children play. Irene even started therapy again, determined to regain some motion in her legs. "Not for me," she said, "for the girl who used to believe in miracles." I was proud of her, but life had a cruel sense of timing. One afternoon, while practicing with her physical therapist, she collapsed. Her condition worsened, and the doctor said there was spinal inflammation causing new complications. She withdrew, she stopped sketching, stopped replying to messages. I visited her, but she barely spoke. One day, I found her sitting alone in her dark apartment, her sketchbooks closed. She whispered, "Rowan, I can't do this anymore. I don't want you to waste your life waiting for me to get better." I sat beside her quietly, then reached for her hand. "Do you know what wasting life really is, Irene? It's walking away from someone who makes it worth living." Tears streamed down her face as she tried to turn away. I gently placed her hand over my heart and said, "You live here now, and I'm not leaving." Weeks passed. Slowly she began to draw again. Her smile returned. One morning, as sunlight poured through her window, she lifted a pencil and said, "You're right. Maybe broken things still make beautiful art." And that's exactly what she became. Beautiful art in motion, courage made human. Months later, Irene's drawings were selected for a charity art exhibition titled "Beauty in the Broken." The night of the event, I stood beside her as people admired her work. Some saw just art, but I saw her story, the pain, the hope, the resilience. When the announcer called her name, Irene looked at me, tears shining in her eyes, and said, "Thank you for not leaving when it was easier to walk away." As she wheeled up the ramp to the stage, she paused halfway, placed her hands on the armrests, and slowly, tremblingly, stood for the first time in front of an audience. The crowd gasped, her legs shook, but she smiled, radiant, alive.